So, Venom The Last Dance released in theaters this past weekend as of this video uploading and recording. Venom The Last Dance was on track to have a $65 million opening weekend. This is lower than the first two movies. 2018's Venom had an opening weekend of $80.2 million domestically, and its sequel, Venom Let There Be Carnage, had a $96.2 million opening weekend domestically. And for my international viewers, when I referred to domestic box office, I'm referring to the United States and Canada, as that's where I'm from. I'm from the United States. However, it is not uncommon for a threequel to show a fall-off in terms of box office. After its opening weekend, Venom The Last Dance made $51 million domestically and $175 million internationally. You know, not a superhero movie, but the John Wick series, each movie made more than the previous if you look at their box office numbers. But John Wick is the exception, not the rule. And if we extend this to look at other threequels, right, Deadpool, the first Deadpool, made almost $800 million at the global box office. Deadpool 2 made around the same amount, close to $800 million at the global box office. And Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.3 billion globally. Again, Deadpool and Wolverine is the exception, not really the rule. You know, but that's not the point of this video. In this video, I want to go into why, in my opinion, Venom is the only Spider-Man spinoff that works without Spider-Man being in the movie. Yes, I know that the Spider-Verse animated movies are successful, but those do follow Miles Morales as Spider-Man, whereas the Venom movies don't have Spider-Man in them at all. And I've come up with a list of 3 primary reasons why the Venom movies are successful even without the inclusion of Spider-Man. And the first reason is that Sony... Sorry, I had something in my throat. Sony has been planning Venom for a very, very long time. If we turn back the clock to around 2007, when Spider-Man 3 came out, and Spider-Man 3 is notorious for studio interference. For those that don't know, Sam Raimi originally wanted Vulture to be the villain, but Sony stepped in and said, no, you need to incorporate Venom, because Sony wanted to make a Venom movie back in 2007, 2008. Obviously, they didn't make the Venom movie then. They waited almost a decade. But it is fair to point out that Sony had been planning a Venom movie for quite some time before 2018's Venom with Tom Hardy. It originally was going to feature Topher Grace as Eddie Brock, and I think we can all agree that Topher Grace was woefully miscast in the role of Eddie Brock / Venom. You know, who could foresee Eric Foreman from that 70s show playing a villain in a Spider-Man movie? The second reason for why Venom is successful even without Spider-Man, and this point is the same point that I made in my video about, you know, Spider-Man 4 being a desperate move for both Sony and Marvel, but the point also applies here in that Venom is one of the most famous of Spider-Man's villains. You've got Venom, you've got Doc Ock, and you've got Green Goblin. That is the holy trifecta of Spider-Man villains. In terms of the casual audience, I know that Spider-Man fans, you know who Morbius is, you know who Kraven the Hunter is, you know who Kingpin is, and yes, for longtime fans, you know that Kingpin started off as a Spider-Man villain, but then became a villain for Daredevil, and then he became a villain for the Punisher. But still, if we're talking about the casual audience, which is really what matters with the movie going public, it's not the hardcore comic book fans. Hardcore comic book fans make up a very, very small minority of a casual audience. The casual audience knows 3 Spider-Man villains: Venom, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. I almost had a brain fart there, and I just said it. I almost pulled a Rick Perry from the 2012 elections, and wanting to cut 3 different departments, having to turn to Ron Paul and ask him what the 3rd department he wanted to cut was. But anyway, so, if you're the casual audience, who the fuck is Morbius the Living Vampire, the movie with Jared Leto? And like so much so, the audience even memed the hell out of that movie with the whole "it's Morbin time." And Sony just went, you know what? Let's re-release Morbius in theaters. We'll probably make more money off the meme. And Morbius's second run in theaters only brought in an extra like $40,000 to $50,000, which again, $40,000 to $50,000 for the average person is nothing to scoff at. But in the world of movies, is virtually zero. Then you have the upcoming Kraven the Hunter movie, which is scheduled to come out later this year, 2024. Again, to most casual fans, who's Kraven the Hunter? And then you have Madam Web, which bombed so bad that Sydney Sweeney made fun of it during her appearance on Saturday Night Live. And the Oscars also made fun of it. John Mulaney at the Oscars also made fun of it. Now, I've already played those clips in my Spider-Man 4 video. Why Spider-Man 4 proves that Disney, Marvel, and Sony are desperate. So I'm not going to replay them here because I think it would just take up too much time. But still, the second reason, Venom is one of the most famous Spider-Man villains. Therefore, it's going to be a lot easier to sell a movie with Venom in it versus a standalone Kraven the Hunter movie or a standalone Vulture movie. Even though I think if they bring back Michael Keaton as Vulture, if they did a standalone Vulture movie, I think it would actually do well given the success of Spider-Man: Homecoming. And the third and final reason why I feel that Venom is successful without Spider-Man is because Venom isn't really a villain in the movies, he's an anti-hero, and that goes back to the comics. Venom may have started out as a Spider-Man villain, started with Black Suit Spider-Man. Venom, like I said, might have started out as a villain, but then he got his own comic series, and then he became an anti-hero. Granted, a very, very gruesome anti-hero to where he actually ate out people's brains. But it's okay because he only ate bad guys' brains. Obviously, that didn't make it into the movie because the Venom movies would be R-rated if they showed Venom eating people's brains. But still, I think that's another very, very, very good point to make is that, the Venom movies don't focus on Venom as a villain. They focus on Venom as an anti-hero, right? Eddie Brock is still a journalist. He's an investigative journalist. And then Venom comes out, and it's okay because Venom, while also a bad person, targets people that are worse than him. Now, I do want to end the video off posing this question. And it's okay, it's not rhetorical. I'm going to answer my own question. Will success continue to follow the Venom movies? In my opinion, probably not. Again, it's not uncommon for a threequel to fall off. Most famously, Star Wars Return of the Jedi made less money than The Empire Strikes Back did back in the 80s. And not only that, but Venom Let There Be Carnage, in my opinion, benefited from the COVID lockdowns being lifted when that released in October of 2021. And it's also important to note that Venom Let There Be Carnage did not have a simultaneous release on a streaming service like a lot of movies were having at the time. People were desperate to get out of the house. And why would you sequelize a series to death? Why not go out with 3 strong movies, even though the box office for Venom: The Last Dance isn't as strong? But again, the box office take is not indicative of quality. Many shit movies have made a killing at the box office. The most famous example of that is Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, was, I believe, the highest grossing entry in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. It was the 4th movie, and yet most people agree that Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides was the worst Pirates of the Caribbean movie, yet it made the most amount of money out of all the other Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my point here. Why not go out with 3 strong movies rather than the first 3 were pretty good, but then the quality fell off a cliff after the release of the 3rd one? Look what's happening. Look at what's happening to the MCU right now. Everyone is arguing that it should have ended with Endgame, and I'm actually one of those people. The MCU should have ended with Endgame. Now, I know that Venom is not a part of the MCU, but the Venom movies could have the same predicament if Sony doesn't know when to quit, like Marvel Studios didn't know when to quit with the MCU, in my opinion.